I'm Lance Phillips. If I'm going to Australia, I am definitely getting a tan. What happened down there, Kinger?
I'm Chris King, and I brought all the rain in Australia back with me.
It rained the whole time. There's no way.
Last 3 days, rain nonstop.
What happened to the first 20 you were there?
I tried to limit myself, like an hour of sun, and then of course I get on the plane. What happens? Peel. All my skin peeled.
Just like a snake.
Yeah, that's what happens when you burn to a crisp the first few days. And it's winter there. It is winter there.
Thanks for joining us for The Gloves Are Off. Now, Kinger, how was the trip? It's good to have you back in studio. I enjoyed Skype. Yeah. Just like you did. Probably you're not close to me, so that must have been enjoyable. Yeah,
it was good. It was good to see your face the whole time. Probably hurt my hip flexor sitting down.
Why were you sitting on the floor?
You know what? There's not that much lighting in Australia, so that was like the main light. It was 3 a.m.
You make it sound like a third world country.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's beautiful there, and yeah, it's awesome.
We're gonna get into it later on, right? Because there's some funny stuff that went on when you were down there.
A lot of stuff.
And just real quick, your Border City Blue Jays, which were the AA, Senior AA provincial champions last season.
Correct. Yeah.
Are 0-2.
Yeah. I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Oh, that's it.
Obviously.
That's it.
Yeah, must have been the problem. It sounded like close games, but 0-2 is still 0-2.
It is. Okay, you know who's not 0-2 are the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to start there with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals. The possibly seven-game Stanley Cup final is underway with the Golden Knights earning a 6-4 victory. That's coming up in Shock No Shock later, Kinger. Who's going to win this series, though, is what I really need to know.
We've been saying it for a while. Vegas, a team of destiny, and it's stinking like that more and more every single game. Every time Washington had a chance to put them away, Vegas came back and answered. And that team's really impressing me. There's just something about them, some kind of moxie that won't go away.
I'm going to tell you what that something is. That something boils down to one thing: no quit. There's no quit in that team. They were down 3-2 and they were down 4-3, and the Golden Knights came back to win in a 10-goal game that I didn't expect. That might be coming up later too. Yes. But there's no quit in this team, and there hasn't been the entire playoffs. They're getting great goaltending from Marc-Andre Fleury. That was debatable last night.
Right.
You know, you don't let in 4 goals and consider it a great goaltending performance.
You don't win often with 4 goals.
No, you don't win often by letting in 4 goals. But the way that they have performed is admirable. And I agree with you. This is Vegas' series to lose, I believe.
Yeah, and you know what, they said it in the pregame show. I believe it was Fleury that said it, and he said, you know, there's something about this group. We just work so hard. Everyone thinks every level, every step of the way that they think they're going to fail. And that group has really came together, and it's kind of like, you know what, we're going to prove everyone wrong. And when you have a collective group of guys that have technically been shunned, that's really tough to beat.
It's essentially a collective chip on their shoulders is what it is. The other thing to keep in mind here is last night Ryan Reeves scored a goal and Derek Engelland had 2 assists. They're getting production from guys that don't normally produce. And that's Ryan Reeves scored the winner to put the Jets out of the playoffs. Those 2 guys getting 3 points out of those 2 guys is something you're not going to get regularly, and that helps as well. This team has been playing well all season, obviously, and what they've done in the playoffs is really incredible. And if they can continue to get production from those guys, they can continue to get good goaltending from Marc-Andre Fleury and keep that no-quit attitude, they're in good shape.
They are in good shape.
Vegas in 6, baby.
Vegas in 6. The Toronto Blue Jays are not in great shape. No. They are a hot mess right now, Lance. So much so that in the last week, their 35-year-old catcher has played left field and shortstop. What's going on with the Blue Jays right now, Lance?
First, I will address that Russell Martin situation.
Sure.
I don't, as a spectator of sport, I don't mind if Russell Martin plays every position there is, which he nearly has done. I believe there's only 3 he hasn't played at this point. So I don't mind this as long as his play warrants that. Where it's not warranting it is at the plate.
Yep.
But who are you going to put in there? Kendrick Morales entering Tuesday is batting 181. Where's Russell Martin? He's at 161. Yep. Russell Martin is a career .250 hitter, so it's not like he's a guy who tears the cover off the ball. Yep. He's been getting progressively worse at the plate since hitting .290 in 2014 with Pittsburgh.
Okay, old.
But as it pertains to the fielding, I don't have a problem with this. You don't really have anyone to plug in his place that's a better performer in both spots.
I would argue the opposite. They've called up Urania, Ureshla, the guy that's up right now. They've called up a bunch of guys. Like, if you're going to call up all your 40-man roster, just throw them out there.
But are they better than Martin?
Well, I get that you're putting Martin out there because technically he's getting paid $20 million, and he's batting 163, and you feel like you got to play him, you got to put him out there.
But I think you do. What are you going to
do? Any of these young kids, you're now paying a major league contract.
Sure. Are you not going to pay the guy? That means you have $42 million in two guys that aren't playing baseball.
Right.
Between him and Tulowitzki, you've got to play him. You've got to believe that this 161 average at the plate is not going to stay. You've got to believe he's going to get better. Now you can make the case he should have been better by now.
Sure, yeah, but the problem is a third of the way over, right? The season's a third of the way over. I would love to see them think about the future and think about maybe trading their assets, whether that's all the bullpen or starters.
Real quick here, I've stood by this. They can't trade Josh Donaldson.
Okay.
They got to trade Josh Donaldson. I'm changing my stance. He's got to be traded. And I believe his best years may be behind him at this point. And probably people are going to be like, that's outrageous. Well, no, it's not. He's 32. He's starting to become injured more often. We may not see production out of Josh Donaldson like we've seen in the past. So trade him. Jay Happ's 35.
Yes.
Another guy who's had a great year. What are you going to do? You're going to keep a 35-year-old pitcher? How long is he going to sustain this level of play?
And he's got some value in him.
He does have some value in him, but I'm not. They've got a lot of work to do. Even Vlad, I mean, I'm not sure you bring up Guerrero quite yet. I mean, he's got to spend some time in the minors. He's a great hitter, but his fielding is not up to par for Major League fielding.
Agreed.
LeBron James has almost single-handedly pushed the Cleveland Cavaliers into the NBA Finals. What he did against the Toronto Raptors was nothing short of spectacular, and he did the same thing in Game 7 against the Boston Celtics, who many thought would get there, Kinger. Has this playoff performance been the best we've ever seen from James?
Yes, the best we've ever seen from James. He played 48 minutes, 35 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists.
He played the entire game.
And basically piggybacked the whole team.
Oh, no, not basically. He did. He took them on his shoulders and he lugged them around the court and put in baskets. He's unbelievable. The man is unbelievable.
Listen to this supporting cast. Is this what you think, when you think of NBA championship caliber team, these are starters, by the way. George Hill, J.R. Smith, Jeff Green, and Kyle Korver, who's coming off the bench. Does that strike you as a team that should be in the NBA Finals?
Sounds like they'd be just good enough to make 8th or 9th place.
Yeah, sliding out of playoffs.
Yes.
LeBron is so good right now that he can put this team in the finals, and they might win a game or two. I don't know what that series is going to happen, but there's no way they should beat anyone in the East with that lineup.
The only guy really behind him that is half decent, who hasn't been half decent, is Kevin Love. And he is as soft as a marshmallow. He is marshmallow soft. Points per game over the course of the playoffs, this postseason. LeBron James leads the way, clearly, with 34 points per game is what he's averaging. That's an insane number. The next closest is Kevin Love with 13.9, and then it drops off to under 10.
Yep.
What he is doing for this team, I don't know if I've ever seen a playoff performance like this. Across sports. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
And what he's doing is now bringing up that conversation. Is he as good as MJ was?
Oh, hardcore.
And he's doing it with way less.
Scroll through your Twitter feed, and that's all you see. Every time the Cavaliers are on the court, that's all you see are MJ/LeBron comparisons.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there are different areas. I don't know if you can compare them. We're getting off topic here a bit. But when his career is over, I believe that many people will say this guy was the best basketball player to ever lace him up.
It's going to be interesting to look back to see what he did with some of these teams.
It's been nothing short of incredible.
Yes. The Golden State Warriors have advanced to the 4th straight NBA title. Lance, is Steph Curry the straw that stirs this drink for the Warriors?
I love that. I love that analogy, Kinger. That was rock solid work right there. I'm going to say that yes, I believe he is. I believe that the Golden State Warriors go the way of Steph Curry. And that might be hard to make that case because there are some strong players in this team. Kevin Durant, who could be one of the top 3 to 5 players in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe top 3. But when Steph Curry isn't on his game, the Warriors don't seem to be on their game as well. When he's stroking a 3 ball, that team is nearly unbeatable.
It's something, I agree with you in the sense that they probably have 2 of the top 5 players in the league. I think that's probably a fact. I don't think you can really argue that. When Steph's on, he's dribbling around people, he's hitting deep shots, his teammates are involved. He takes them to another level. When he's off, it just feels like the energy level is a little bit lower. And that's what I'm saying.
So I believe that he is the key to the success of the team because if he's not on his game, it's almost like those guys think, oh, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? But when he's on, they're like, we're unbeatable.
And when you listen to The guys, especially like TNT, some of the other networks talk about it. KD's got to be the guy. KD's got to be the guy. KD's got to be the guy. He's been carrying a bulk of the scoring for chunks of this playoff. Yeah, but in the end, KD can't be the guy without Steph to space the floor, or Iguodala to make the passes when he's healthy, or Draymond to like clean up the boards. It's everyone kind of working together, but I do agree that Steph is the one that's going to take them over the hump, and he did this multiple years in a row. Right. We know that he can play.
The thing that amazes me about Curry too is, like you said, he just expands the court for that team. We saw numerous times in Game 6 and 7 where, you know, just little dish-off passes to Steph beyond the three-point arc, and he's knocking those down in the corner. Those are corner threes, and he's just knocking them down. And that's all they have to do. Yeah. They're just giving it to him, and he's knocking them down. If he can do that, it makes it so much more lethal in the offensive zone.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch as long as they get that sort of performance out of him. If they don't get it, they're not so fun to watch. What may be fun to watch this coming NFL season is protesting, because recently, in fact last week, NFL owners voted in favor of adopting a no public protest policy when it comes to the national anthem. Kinger, how much worse is this policy going to make this situation?
Oh, this is awful. Awful for the NFL, awful for the players, awful across the board. You hate to talk about politics in sports, but this is politics getting what it wants and shoving it down the NFL's throat and saying, you're going to follow what we say, respect, respect, respect.
It's like a trickle-down effect of shoving down throats. The NFL is not even listening to its owners that are against this policy. Not only is it not listening to its owners, it's not listening to the players that are against this policy. It almost makes you feel like the NFL took that thing, they crumpled it up, and they shoved it down the NFLPA's collective throats. Well, this is a tinderbox. This is a tinderbox that could just go up at any second. It's a scary situation in the way that protests can be. And it's not going to get any better.
And I think what we're going to see now, if this stays, because the Players Union has to rebuttal this, which there's no way they can let this go. If this stays, we're going to see way more protesting. We're going to see more people up in arms. You cannot let the President of the United States dictate your right to free speech. It's not about the flag. It's not about the anthem.
Not only him, nobody can dictate your right to free speech. Absolutely nobody. Yep. This is going to get worse, and what we're going to see is we may not see knee protests. We may not see players taking a knee. We're going to see players find new ways to protest this. I don't know what they're going to be, but there are going to be ways to do it. We've already seen coaches, or already seen owners of teams come out and say, we're going to pay our players fines if they protest. If they take a knee, we are going to pay the fine, and that's admirable. But we're going to see, it's an arrogant stance by the NFL. It's an incredibly arrogant stance, which isn't surprising because it's an arrogant league.
Yeah, it just seems very rash.
And it's going to create way more of a media circus. Week 1 is going to be a full-on media circus that has a full-on focus on what is going to happen in this protesting situation. Yeah. It's a bad look for the league. Terrible. Yeah.
The MLB attendance is significantly down this year, so far that it's on pace right now to have the lowest attendance in the last 15 years. Lance, what can the MLB do to address this attendance issue?
I'm not sure at this point, because because Major League Baseball is doing a lot of things to try and address this, mainly speed of the game, right? Yep. And for baseball purists, people who love the game like you and I, speed of the game I don't think it's important. No. I don't care about the speed of the game. If a game takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours. Some games are going to take 2 and a bit, which are awesome. Some are going to take 4, and that's fine. I have no problem with that if it's good baseball. I'm not sure what the league can do at this point. We're entering a societal change here, where we're seeing a millennial, younger demographic that does not have an attention span to pay attention to a game that moves at the pace that it does for 3 hours. Yep. There's many a younger fan base that can watch a hockey game for 3 hours because of the breakups in play through intermission, because of the speed of the game. But I'm not sure what baseball can do.
And
if anything.
It's really, the problem is the time commitment, as you said, for people to do.
It's a huge time commitment.
Now, I'll use the Atlanta Braves for an example. Last year, they introduced the freeze, which, for those of you guys that don't know the freeze, it's a guy that races around the outfield and races a normal human.
Great concept.
Yeah, like you and me. So that generated...
He's just a lot faster than you and I.
Yeah. No, we're the guy that's chasing from behind, falling on the ground. We're that guy. Yeah. But regardless, they got 3,000 more fans per game because of that. Fantastic. their numbers were still down before they got into the new park. So that helped a little bit. But I think teams have to start figuring out how can we market this, because as you said, the millennials are not paying attention. They're not watching this. You've seen my kids. 5 minutes, my basketball girls, oh, squirrel,
yep,
squirrel,
for
squirrel.
sure.
They're out of there.
Was that a bird flying around in here?
So we got to find a way to get it, make it an event and make people get to MLB games, because it's still a great game.
I have stated this a ton, and we've talked about this in the past, that the Saskatchewan Rush have, from what I've been told, I've not been to a game, they have the best fan experience of anything that anyone's ever been to. And the Freeze situation in Atlanta is a great example of giving people a good fan experience. But the game does not really allow for that fan experience. There's no time between innings to allow for that, really.
Yeah.
The seventh inning stretch is where that kind of stuff can come into play. But if you make more time to pursue those avenues for great fan experience, the game now becomes 5 hours long, or whatever it becomes. It becomes longer.
Yeah.
The teams have to figure out a way to bring great entertainment to a game that has a slow pace as it stands.
It's about the event on the whole.
Right. Josh Ryan is going to join us, not right away. He's coming up. And the video he's got, Kinger, is just, it's wild.
I'm excited for it.
Oh.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
As we mentioned, Josh Ryan is coming up later on. He's got quite a video. It's wild, is what it is.
Hey, he's never failed us yet.
No, he hasn't. He's been rock solid so far. So we're looking forward to having him on. We've got some shock, no shock, Kinger, and I know that you've got a couple of doozies in there, so you kick off.
I got some good ones.
Block number 2, please.
Okay. Lance, are you shocked, not shocked, that the Houston Rockets missed 27 straight three-pointers?
How can't you be shocked at this? I could go out there right now and sink at least one of 27 shots. I'm pretty confident I could do that. And I haven't shot a basketball for quite some time. I believe that your daughter Macy could go out there and sink a three-pointer in 1 in 27.
Probably not, because she'd be...
That's shocking. Yeah. It's absolutely shocking that they were that appalling at the three ball. When it counted. When it counted.
Yeah, I am shocked. Hey, so many wide open threes.
It's ridiculous.
It's amazing. This is the argument against analytics, right?
Oh.
3 or layup, 3 or layup. Well, when you're not shooting, well, those are NBA players, the best of the best, and they missed 27 straight, and a lot of those were wide open. It's shocking.
It's one of the all-time worst three-point performances, maybe the worst three-point performance I've seen in a game.
It's got to be the worst.
I haven't watched basketball, I've only watched basketball for as old as I am, obviously. And even at that, I don't think I was watching when I was 2. I don't think.
20 years, eh? 20 years. All right.
20 years. Yeah, 20 years ago, I was watching basketball. No, but so I can't speak for back in the heyday of when Magic was playing. But I can't imagine there being three ball wasn't nearly
a
thing
thing
back then, right? So that was pathetic, is what it was. That was pathetic.
Agreed.
We're going to stick with that topic, King. Are you shocked? Are you not shocked that it took 7 games for the Warriors to overcome Houston?
Not shocked, actually. I'm not shocked. Houston was made solely to beat Golden State.
Right.
And they almost did it. You could argue Chris Paul getting injured maybe held them back a little bit, but also...
I'm sure it did to some extent.
Hey, Golden State, Iguodala was injured, right? There's injuries on both sides of the floor. I thought that was a great series. Compare and contrast. Iso ball, team ball. Iso ball, team ball. Both were very effective at it. Golden State a little bit better.
Let's keep in mind that, was it last week or the week before, we went over under 1.5 losses that the Golden State Warriors would suffer before the end of the playoffs. And the series was 2-1 at that point. I went under. I thought that they'd lose 1 game.
Yeah.
And I believe you took...
I took under as well because I said they'd lose 2 games. I think we set it at 2.5.
We did set it at 2.5.
Yeah.
So they've lost 2.
Shocking. We're both going to end up being wrong.
Well, I'm wrong for sure already, and you may be. You may not be, though. You think they can sweep the Cavs?
I do think they can sweep the Cavs. I think LeBron's going to pull something crazy out for one of these games and do something ungodly. Anyways.
Like he has been.
The Vegas Golden Knights had quite the intro to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I personally thought it was amazing. Great entertainment to bring the fans in. Lance, are you shocked or not shocked by this intro for Game 1?
Well, it was interesting because when I was watching it, I noticed that I grew gray hair between when it started and when it finished. That's how long it felt like it went on for.
It took a while.
Am I shocked or not shocked? I've totally lost track of what you said.
Are you shocked by the intro, like by the?
No, I'm not shocked by what they did. It's over the top. It's Vegas. It makes sense. I'm just shocked it went on as long as it did. It was long. To me, it felt long. And I love that kind of stuff. We just finished talking about entertainment value. I think it's great. But there comes a point when you, as a viewer, just say, let's start. We're ready for a hockey game to start here, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like us opening the show and people are waiting to hear the topics we're going to discuss, and we talk about our lives for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Good thing we keep that to 26 to 40 seconds.
Yeah, that was
so
way
they don't
longer
get bored.
than that. It was way longer than that. I enjoyed it. I think it was great, but I was shocked by how long it took. Yourself?
Yeah, a little shocked in the length. I liked the whole production. I love it, like fan value.
Right.
I didn't think the on ice gladiator thing needed to happen. Could have probably just stopped it short there and been good. Yeah.
When you said that they took over the West and then you come back and he's got a first of all
they told a full story.
First of all, why is it that he's fighting a guy with a red cape? The Capitals logo is a bald eagle for like, so have an eagle flying around that's got like massive talent and shoot it out of the air with a bow and arrow. Yeah. That to me would have been way better than fighting a guy.
I did find it interesting also that they loaded like really good-looking girls around the guy blowing the horn way up top.
Right.
Weird. That happened in ancient times. I digress.
We're way over this, but I'd like to make one more point that Chris Angel, Vegas is, the Golden Knights as an organization are great at finding the creepiest looking people to wind that thing up. Like Chris Angel looked like they just pulled him out of the wax museum. That's what he looked like.
I think they do that on purpose.
Chris Angel's got 1 foot in the grave already, doesn't he? Like,
he's in rough shape. Vegas does that to people when you're performing all the time. Look up that intro, take a look at it, tell us what you think. It was...
if you can stay awake.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sticking with Vegas Golden Knights and the Capitals. Shocked or not shocked, Tom Wilson won't receive a hearing for his hit on Jonathan Marchessault show.
Yeah, that's an easy one for me, shocked. Straight up shocked. Any other game, series, regular season game,
you don't have to look very far. You just have to look against their series with the Penguins when he was suspended for 3 games.
Oh, Stanley Cup Finals, no hold bars. You can't just knock it down because it's the finals.
It's that sort of thing is embarrassing for the league. That's what's embarrassing. When you suspend a guy for exactly the same hit in a series, in 2 series earlier against the Penguins, and you don't suspend him for that, you could count almost to 3 seconds by the time he hit Marchessault.
Yeah, and it was straight into the glass, exact same thing. It's
a blindside hit.
It's so funny that they changed their value. And we've been complaining about this all season. NHL just goes back and forth.
It's so bad.
There's no set standard. I'm gonna squeeze one more in here. Are you shocked or not shocked about the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 4.5 games up on the Chicago Cubs and St. Louis Cardinals in the NL Central? Are you shocked by that?
I believe that the Brewers have the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. There's no way at the beginning of the season you said that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to be here. I'd be like, oh yeah, they will be. No, I'm shocked by that.
I would have took them for one of those teams with 100 losses this year, if you were asking me.
One of those 7 we talked about a few weeks ago. Yeah, they were bad. Josh Ryan's coming up next.
Yes.
You're going to love it. Oh boy.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
Welcome back. Kinger, is it safe to say that we are in rodeo country here?
Rodeo country.
That's Hollywood, isn't it? Rodeo? That's
I just call it rodeo. I don't know.
We're not.
Yes. We're in the middle of the plains.
I can guarantee we're not in that country.
We're in the middle of the plains. There's a lot of rodeo. There's a rodeo every weekend if you want to go to a rodeo.
There kind of is. And Josh Ryan has joined us again with some rodeo goodies, I guess you could say. Josh, good to have you back.
First of all, clearly you're not used to rodeo country. Rodeo country?
That's Kinger.
That's just
He grew up around here.
That's what they say, the slang terms.
Yeah, you especially have no excuse, Kinger.
Yeah,
apparently that's what all the cool kids say,
hey,
Josh. Now
you know how it is, Josh. All my friends were farmers.
I don't claim to be in the brethren. I'm just pointing out that the two of you
Like
aren't.
apparently now when all the kids go to Lee Park Rodeo, they say, yeah, what are you doing this week? I'm going to the Lee Park Rodeo. Apparently that's how it works.
That's probably after 12 or so refreshments.
Refresh
12
names.
might be undershooting it. I think the over-under is around 17.5.
All right, Josh, good to have you back. You
Well,
you got a real doozy for us this week, apparently.
Yes, well, we had a couple of options. Lance's was the best one, and so what we went with is the best of my, mediocre internet knowledge is this is called Ring of Fire. There's Cowboy
Johnny
Poker
Cash.
is another version. Ring of Fire is the most common name I found with this, and so essentially the goal is, well, let's just roll tape. The goal is to stay in your ring when a bull comes charging at you.
Oh, my word.
That wasn't a real
3,
person.
2, 1, boom. Actually, that guy kind of backed out because he's a pansy, apparently. So yeah, the goal is to be the last one in your ring. If you are able to be the last one in the ring and not knocked out, you win probably not enough money to endure what they're going through.
Was that a dummy? Was that first one a dummy? Because I thought that looked like a dummy.
It looked like a scarecrow getting just.
But
went like
he
40
moved
feet.
at first, so he was definitely a human.
I mean, wouldn't you be a dummy if you got knocked over by a bull?
Okay.
Let's go to video number 2. So this is a slightly
more.
different angle.
There's more.
This bull I call Ferdinand. He's a bit of a mean mofo as he comes out.
Mofo.
So let the tape play. You can tell he's riled up right away here. And
Is that a girl?
Yeah, that's a female.
that is a girl. It's not just men that are dumb enough to do this. Now, pause it right there. You can't quite get the audio with this video, but one of the most interesting things in this video was as she gets hit the second time, the audience reacts with outrage. You hear a, oh, as if the bull is, going to care about whether or not it hits a person twice.
How dare the bull do such a thing?
I know. How dare the bull do its job, essentially. Let's see that angle one more time, actually, if we can flick back that video. Just right there, yes. And we're going to pause it in 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
So a good 6 feet off the ground. 2 full rotations as well. I'd love to know what the Guinness Book of World Records is for full rotations after being hit by a bull.
Now, Josh, just to clarify something with that video we have there, is the leg supposed to bend like that? Because it doesn't
Looks like a
look
Gumby doll.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Generally speaking, unless it's a straightforward bend, the human body isn't supposed to move at all. So clearly that's not the case. The human body is also not supposed to be this high off the ground in this horizontal position anyway. So there's plenty wrong with this image. Let's play again now. So as you can see, finishes the rotation. And, Ferdinand was not in a good mood.
How does Ferdinand not... oh, my word. She got horned. She got horned.
That is the highlight of the video. Now, we see Ferdinand continue to be a little ornery.
Whoa!
Oh! I mean, I hope they're being paid really well because I don't understand what your incentive is otherwise. Let's go to the next video. Believe me, we got another one.
Honestly, Kinger,
Why?
How did that girl not get stomped in the head? Like, if she gets stomped in the head by that bull, it's game over.
Yeah. I got so many questions, but Josh, if you
we'll get to your questions
carry
at
on,
the end.
carry on.
All right, so let's go to next video, just to get again one more great look at this. If you can press play, let's count the rotations as she goes. So 1,
so we got 1,
2,
I'd say,
2.5.
2.5 almost.
2.5.
But then we've got more rotation coming up here, I believe.
Yes.
Oh my God, that'd be scary, wouldn't it?
So let's actually skim through. Now we've seen it in slow-mo. Let's go to the next
video.
Let's go to the next video.
Kinger, when the horn hits her in the belly, what would that feel like? That'd be terrifying.
Like getting hit with a cannonball, but a sharp one?
Yes, so now we're moving on to yet another bull. This is Gary, and Gary is a little more mild than Ferdinand, but he's still a bit ornery, which you can imagine why he'd be ornery.
Oh, man.
He zigged when he should have zagged there. Oh, my.
So, I mean, bonus points for the guy that he didn't stay in the ring, but he did manage to bounce off the bull afterwards, unless you think that's actually a credit to Gary for managing to flip him and sort of back swat him.
I know you got another video coming up, but just I need to know, is this something that you would take part in?
I like being alive, so I mean, it's not really an incentive for me. Okay. I suppose if I was supporting a family and this would take care of them, then no, I wouldn't do this. No one with a rational mind would do this.
I don't love my family that much, I'll tell you that.
Now, I do got to give props to this next guy, though. So we're going to watch the first angle. Now, this is Kurt. Kurt's just a mean dude. Kurt is not a nice bull.
Sorry, Kurt's the bull. Okay, Kurt is the bull.
Yeah. I don't know the gentleman who Kurt takes out here.
Dummy.
Kurt is going to go up. So as we press
Dude one.
play here. So Kurt's sizing him up. Goes for the karate kick and misses. It's a great dodge by the other gentleman.
Did you say he went for a karate
kick? I also want to know that, if that exists in the Guinness Book of World Records. Let's get another look, gents, if you can. Let's read.
Did you see the kick on the bull? Imagine the bull connects with his cheek or something.
How far did he fly?
Well, let's play it one more time. So pause right here. So as you can see, close call with the feet, but great dodging work by the gentleman who's also wearing a camera, and we'll see an extra view of them. So now press play again.
Smart move.
And his problem is, now pause right here. So his problem there is, instead of zigzagging, he ran in one direction. The reason he did so, I believe, is he has a GoPro and he's trying to get the best possible angle of the bull coming at him. But if you don't zigzag when Kurt's around, you're in trouble. So anyway, Kurt sends him flying. Let's play that quick. It's a good 12 feet.
All right, Josh, so I know we got this GoPro angle coming up, but that's wild.
Yeah, so let's get to that really quick because we're getting short on time here. GoPro angle, again, you can see Kurt. He looks much meaner up close here, too, as you can see. So go ahead and play with Kurt. And again, a little bit of nervousness, but he holds the camera pretty steady. I'm, again, amazed he manages to dodge that karate kick level with 2 feet. And that is what happens when you mess with Kurt. So, Kinger, you have any burning questions?
Just the why.
Yeah, why?
There's 20
is what I
people
need
in
to
the
know.
stands there.
I'm crying.
I would say there's probably 3 whys. Alcohol.
Okay.
Adrenaline. And alcohol would be your 3 reasons.
Okay, not enough of all 3 of those things for me to ever do that, just for the record.
Josh, thanks very much once again, man. Good to have you back.
You're welcome. Always enjoy watching these.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I don't know what I do. I inject Josh Ryan's breakdown straight into my veins.
Oh, boy.
Straight into my veins.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
All right, Karen, we're loaded up today, so we'll just pop right into it here.
Straight into it.
Just straight into it?
Straight into it.
Straight into it. This is unbelievably awesome. Mackenzie Hughes at Mac Hughes Golf. So this comes from a Business Insider tweet that says, this machine can produce 300 bricks a minute. Houston Rockets, hold my beer.
I can do better.
Yeah, they were producing at about that rate, weren't they, in Game 7?
Yeah, and a lot of unpretty bricks.
Oh, they're
checking them up.
They deserve to be going home, I'll tell you that.
Okay, we got Rob Freeman here, and this is amazing, Lance. At Pitch Ninja, Josh Hader's 94-mile-per-hour fastball and his 80-mile-per-hour slider overlay.
This is incredible because, and any young pitcher should see this.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing. How as a batter you can't? I don't think you can.
It's coming out exactly the same.
The release point's the
same. You better
same.
guess.
Body movement's the same. The ball breaks, and you can see the ball split away as the slider comes down and away. But that's a video that if I'm a coach for a young player, I'm showing him this and saying, because I've been watching some local baseball, and you can see when pitchers are trying to throw changeups, they're slowing their movements down, and everything changes. And yeah, that's the key to great pitching, is to not change anything in your mechanics.
Everything looked the same.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 feet and 3 feet difference.
Yes, it's
and then the speed.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Frank Saravelli, so at Frank Saravelli of TSN fame, more hijinks. So we were talking about this, Kinger, as it pertains to mental warfare, coaching mental warfare. More hijinks at T-Mobile Arena. They wouldn't turn lights on for NHL Jets' optional morning skate, so Kevin Cheveldayoff was hilariously standing on the bench shining his cell phone flashlight. Of course, this obviously goes back to the Knights Jet series, and that's mental warfare right there is what it is.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't happen by accident.
mail.
No way.
Oh,
no
sorry,
way.
we forgot to turn on the lights today.
For sure.
We'll get them next day. Oh, sorry, Augustana. Kinger, your team's in 96 degrees.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
All right, Barstool. Changing it, maybe not quite sports. Barstool Heartland cannot send it more than this. Oh, my.
That's unbelievable. Like, gosh. The white, if you look at the little white truck kind of as it goes over the thing and into the parking lot, the white truck moves, which means it was hit by that truck coming in there.
And I assume when it went over top of like the fence housing, that when it hit, the tires just went poof.
Oh, that truck, that's a write-off. It's probably a write-off coming out of the ditch.
Hey, there's mail.
There was a lot of speed on that.
I've never seen anything like that. Players Tribune. You and I had a chat about this before the show started about the Players Tribune. So this goes back to Mark Savard, who used to play for the Bruins. Psychologists have a rating system that they use to track your mental state. And at one point, my symptoms were so serious that I was considered suicidal. At msavvy91 details the severity of post-concussion syndrome. There's a great, really compelling watch on TSN right now that Rick Westhead is putting out. It's a 5-part series kind of documenting trials with people within the NHL about concussions and CTE. Mark Savard may be one of the better known people who had to leave the game because of a hit he sustained.
You've got mail.
That's a hell of a read. That's a hell of a read.
And I think it just goes to show how much was really unknown about that. Jamal Lewis today came out and said that he had concussions, and it's scary when you get deep into that, what they actually suffer.
And that people within the league are still denying. Like, come on, this isn't 1995.
League of denials, right?
And they're all the same.
Protect the crest.
Shield,
the shield. Sorry. Barstool Sports at Barstool Sports. Surprised Marcus Smart's jaw is still attached to his face after this vicious attack that clearly hit him and definitely wasn't a flop.
What a flop.
It barely grazed his chin.
I don't even think he touched him.
It is impressive that he was able to propel himself back 7 feet from just a chin touch.
It reminds me of the Chris Bosch one. I think, remember
someone
swung an elbow and then
You've got mail.
We might have to do a segment on worst flops.
Yeah, we might.
Up here.
This is great. So the score at the score. Twitter busts out the memes to roast Rockets collapse. Dubs win.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
The L on the beard is solid work.
It could be. Maybe he comes back with no beard next year.
He should. That thing is actually tough to look at.
Manu at Morning Glory. Alex Ovechkin and Don Cherry right now.
True.
That's awesome.
True. It is. It's true.
Hey,
true.
There's
Greg Brady.
mail.
Okay, you'll appreciate this because you had season 6 to the Blue Jays for quite a while.
Yep.
At Greg Brady TO, a friend of mine is leaving his house now for the Jays game. Expects to arrive in the 4th inning. Do people do this? It would drive me crazy. If I can't make a game by, say, top of the 2nd, I'm in a bad mood for days. NHL or soccer or NBA equivalent, 5 minutes in, not 1 minute more. I'm with him. Who shows up 4 innings into a baseball game?
I have such a problem with this. It's like the people that say, you know what, I'll just watch the 3rd period or I'll watch the 4th quarter. You're missing the whole story. Like, to me, a game is a complete storyline. So if you show up in the 5th, you don't know what happened the rest of the game.
I can't appreciate this. Now, that being said, a few years ago when I lived in Vancouver, one of our buddies came out and we went to a Canucks game. We had awesome seats.
Right.
And we sat in the bar at the top with the rink behind us, and we watched the game on the TV screen, and we went and sat in our seats for the first 10 minutes of the 3rd period and then went back to the bar. We watched almost the entire game on the television, and the game was going on right behind us.
But that's the privilege part of it. But you were there.
That's true.
You knew what was going on. That's the difference.
And we were there well ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to get started early.
Hopefully you caught a cab home that night.
Oh, walked. It was a long walk.
Starting 9. Hi, haters. Verlander tipping his cat to the Bronx after a 1-run outing.
This is amazing.
You know, I like Verlander more and more all the time.
When you see stuff like this, how can you dislike this guy?
Yeah.
He tips his cap kind of like, hey, is anyone looking at me?
Thank you, New York.
They're booing him too, right?
I know. It's just straight boos. But competitor, right? You like it when people boo you.
I love it.
Got mail.
Wilkie Brewers. I believe you know the Wilkie Brewers.
Tough squad.
At Wilkie Brewers. First home game of the season this evening at 6:30 versus Unity. We're looking to smash last year's home opening attendance of 11 and pick up a record 2nd win in May.
Hey, and you know what?
That's awesome.
It is awesome, and Wilkie's one of those places, and you don't know this on the road, but like where all the people in the town pull up with their cars and they sit in their cars or on the box.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
there could be 10 people or 50 people. It's pretty awesome.
Oh no, that's I'm very familiar with that. So back when I was a teenager, I played fastball.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. People would line up their cars around the outfield fence, around the infield, and periodically you get that person who left the lights on and
turn them off.
Yeah, turn the lights off. Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the North Sass River Baseball
Oh, that's
League.
awesome.
All right, I got Mohammed here. Mo Dollars. LeBron showing up to the NBA Finals every year.
Like different outfit, different team, different uniform.
I love that guy walks into the classroom.
This kid has filmed his professor every time he comes in.
Hey, that's consistent. Like, same spot, he walks in the same way. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's well planned, well executed. So this is Rick Swan at Swan1585. So Rick Swan, head coach of the Bonnyville Pontiacs, big fan of Rick Swan's. Thanks to the Red Deer boys and Pontiac's Sandstrom. I think it's Sandstrom, not Sandstorm. JT, Ghouls, and Saint, along with the Caban brothers for installing the monster pier at Wood Creek Resort, Moose Lake today. Hashtag above and beyond, Pontiacs to the rescue. So this is one thing that the Pontiacs continually do. They're in the community, constantly doing goodwill community gestures. This is another example of that. I can't say it enough how important that kind of stuff is.
Well, it's huge, right? And these kids that are taking and getting a chance to play in the community, giving back to the community and surrounding areas, awesome.
And I think I've said this before, the Pontiacs, I believe last year invested over 7,500 hours of community service, which is more than many universities in the States.
That is awesome.
It's unbelievable.
It's a well-rounded system right there. Freedom Cardboard, quickly. Anyone else notice that Craig Biggio's autograph looks like a penis riding a skateboard? It does. It does.
It 100% does. 100% looks like that. Who observes that?
You search long and hard.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Sports Movie Madness is done.
She over. She gone.
We have a winner. And it's not the winner I expected when this thing started. But you say you're not surprised.
I'm not surprised. I've been guessing that this was going to be probably one of the favorites, despite its ranking to start.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we had, in the final, we had Slapshot, number 5, versus number 4, Happy Gilmore. I'm not going to lie. At the beginning of this, if you said the finals are going to be Slapshot and Happy Gilmore, I would have laughed at you and said no chance. I would have bet money on it, no chance. Clearly, I don't know the people of Lloydminster as well as I thought I did. The winner is, with 56% of the vote, Kinger, announced to the masses who the winner is.
Everyone's favorite movie, Slapshot.
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 The
Who
winner.
owns the Chiefs?
Like, so Slapshot, let's just kind of go through this here. Slapshot went through Friday Night Lights, Rudy, who that is my favorite movie of all time, sports movie. It went through Major League and then beat up on Rocky, which I got there were a couple of tweets that were sent in to.
It's a heavy path.
Yeah, it's a couple of tweets that were sent in that they were appalled, that people were appalled that it got past Rocky. Yeah. Appalled that Rocky wasn't in the final.
Hey, that's the good thing about having a local on this show is I get the local people. I get what they're liking.
That's it.
Old time hockey. They want to see old time hockey.
That last round, we had a record like 52,000 votes on it, which was amazing.
Whoa.
Amazing, 52,000
Surprised
votes.
our Twitter didn't blow up after that.
Servers nearly crashed at Twitter HQ, I'm telling you right now. Anyways, that was cool. We enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Really appreciated everyone kind of pitching in and people in the community reaching out and giving us their thoughts, voting. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I don't know about you, Kinger, but I enjoyed it even though some of the movies I would have picked didn't make it.
Yeah, well, it's fun because it's frustrating when your movie doesn't advance, but it's good to see that, hey, people like sports comedies.
People do like sports comedies. I mean, look at the last 4. Slapshot, Rocky. Rocky's a comedy. You can make that case. Rocky's a comedy. Remember the Titans is a drama. Happy Gilmore. But most of those ones in around the final 4 and the Elite 8 were all comedies.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. All right. A couple things we want to mention here, King.
Yeah.
This jersey that we have, I'm going to kind of move my computer out of the way here a little bit on my mug. So this jersey behind me, it's JT47, as you can see there. So that is the jersey that was worn at the recent Jeff Torrey Memorial Cup, the inaugural Jeff Torrey Memorial Cup. It was held on Saturday past to commemorate the life of Jeff Torrey, who you know fairly well.
Yeah.
You knew well.
Yeah, played ball with myself, my brother. Dad coached him. Was an awesome guy, really great guy.
Yeah, and I asked Sam, who put on the event, Sam Saeed, if we could borrow this jersey and put it on our set, and he graciously said yes. And I never knew Jeff, unfortunately. I wish I had had the chance to. But that whole incident and the fundraising effort all really hits home for me because it's for mental health awareness, and that's an important thing. And I felt really privileged just to be out there at the event and be able to kind of put that story out.
Saw it on Twitter, recognized almost all those faces at the game. It's
cool
really
stuff.
good stuff.
Pretty cool stuff. One more thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
Thursday, The finals, zone finals, are going down at Lloydminster Comprehensive High School for rugby. And anyone who watches Newcap Television has noticed recently that sports has been real heavy on rugby.
Yeah.
And because these are two good teams, the girls' team is almost a certainty to medal at provincials. Really, really good team. Like, best that Mark Grillandini says, best they've ever had.
That is awesome.
They're unbelievable, and the boys' team is good too. So the finals of this are Thursday morning. Get out there and support your local teams. These are two fantastic rugby teams. They've got great coaching, they've got great players, and it is fun to watch. It's fun to watch. So go out Thursday. I believe the finals for the girls is at 10:40, and the boys is at noon.
Perfect.
So get out there and check it out.
That's awesome. And like we talked about before, rugby growing in this area.
Yeah, big time. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta give a little bit of a shout out. Obviously, last show I was in Australia. I gotta give a huge thanks to the Dugan family, Paul and Jody, Shanae and Jake, Tori's twin siblings, for putting me up for 12 days. You know I'm difficult to deal with. They had me in there for 12 days, taking care of me, and just fantastic. And I got to learn a lot about Australia and how they watch an AFL game.
I can't wait to hear about this. Now, what is AFL?
Okay, so AFL is Aussie Rules Football. So there's a bunch of things we need to talk about. First off, they made fun of me about this. So when you kick between the tall posts, it's two of these, 2 guns, 6 points. Okay, short posts on the side, 1 gun. Okay, that's the first thing. So you got to know what the officials are doing.
Well,
so
you're saying though that they go like this.
They
right?
go like
I'd be guns.
They go
too,
like
for
they
sure.
go like this, but it's like way better if you just
guns
give
for
it
sure.
the
It's
guns.
more, I like it. Okay, what else?
So AFL is a combination of punching the ball to your teammates. When you kick it in the air, if you catch it, it's a mark. They blow the whistle. Anyways, you're trying to score. It's straight up trying to score.
Like most sports.
It's like a yeah. Hello. Anyways, it is actually pretty fun to watch. There's lots of like in-air collisions, but the Dugan family takes this to another level. I watched Tori's team, the West Coast Eagles, play the Hawthorne Hawks, Paul's team, straight screaming and cursing at the TV. I sent you a few videos. We can't even air it.
Well, we can. We just have to put a constant censor beep over top of it. Just
it's unbelievable.
All the way through.
And every person in the family has an opinion on it, and like from haircuts to the way they look to like, it's something else.
If you think that you're passionate about your fan base, this is a video for you, because I guarantee you are not as passionate as these people are. I was impressed, which makes me want to go there and hang out with them for as long as you did, just to be a part of the culture.
It's definitely worth seeing. Like I said, I've seen football before, footy or rugby.
Awesome.
It was fantastic. I loved it, and they were fantastic.
Oh, and you were just the things you were telling me when you were away. I was thinking, oh man, it'd be so cool to be there, because I know what Tori's like. Tori's a really cool girl. She's fun to be around. So it'd be great to just be there and be a part of the whole, experiencing that culture.
Yeah, there was a lot of geared out fans going on, and a lot of hate.
Brother's wearing a New Orleans Saints jersey.
A lot of hate.
I love it. Thanks for watching.